Howdy, folks, we're live. Of course, your gratuitous Buckle Bonanza. Buckle Bonanza. Welcome to the show. Wow. Facebook didn't go live for 3 tries, so I was caught by surprise with my buckle up. My pants were up. Usually you get caught with your pants down, but this time, this is the way it is. You'll notice something different. Yes. Gidge is not on the show tonight. She's taking some well-deserved time off for her agent claims. It has nothing to do with her holdout for more money and Ruby's holdout for more kibble. That being said, I'm going to break a few of the rules, and I'm going to get this sucker done now before the ice all melts. And I have a watered-down Sanitini as opposed to just a full-strength Sanitini. And we have an exciting show for you, folks. I'm really glad all of you are there, both of you. But let's get started with our theme song, because let's face it, something's not right. Of course, have to do it again because the sound wasn't on.
Leave you with dismay, and don't try to fuss him, he'll ruin your whole day. He's got more mental problems than a shrink could ever say. He's obfuscating, prevaricating, and constantly pontificating, procrastinating, cream cheese grating, and forever belly aching, exasperating, aggravating, irritating, and infuriating. He's such an asshole. That's
well, there you have it, folks. Of course, that was the Grumps theme show, the produced one. Now you know what the show would really look like if we were somewhat professional, which we're not, for good reason. And got a real special theme for the evening tonight. I'm super excited about it. For those of you that might have seen my little teaser, if they build it, I am going to celebrate some things tonight, and these things, guitars, they've meant a lot to me in my life. I've spent a lot of time with them, and they've been good friends to me, and actually quite difficult taskmasters a lot of the time. I just got to say that I would like to celebrate the people that make these things, the visionaries that see new ways to do it, the people that give up their time and their love to do it, often for very little financial gain. And for those of you who know something about me, know about my Red Guitar Show, which is in many ways talks about, like the red shoes or the red violin, how an inanimate object takes over your life. And my show is called The Red Guitar. I wonder why. Anyways, the red guitar, much like the red violin, where a violin possesses its owner, and the maker put blood of his departed wife in the resin, and it everybody who owned it through generations met with tragedy. And the red shoes, which we know they took over the life of the dancer and wouldn't stop dancing and killed her. And the guitar has much of a similar idea, at least with me. And here I have the red guitar. So I'm going to give you a little bit of that show I wrote, maybe the little opening of it. my imagination? Am I playing this thing? Or is it playing me? Could be the color red. Red, love and lust. Red, sex and dead. Red, even communists and Republicans vie for a piece of the color's precious real estate. Like I said, love, lust, sex, dead, even seduction. Like in the red shoes. Was it the shop owner who picked his victim? Was it the shoes? Or was it the color? So much better if I could start this story with a knife fight in Natchez or a mugging in Memphis. But it's not where you start that matters. It's where you end up that counts. Yes, inanimate objects can come to life, and they can possess your soul, and they can take over your life. Just ask any guitar player, or more importantly, ask any partner, wife or husband of a guitar player. So I'd like to get right into it because I called a lot of friends, and a lot of this started. These types of guitars for the few of you who might be watching who aren't aware, these are called Archtop or hollow body or carved top guitars because basically, as you notice, there's a Archtop, like a violin. They're basically made in the similar school of violin, the violin family. And those of us who play them, there's a thing about them that we just can't get enough of. I know for me, my first guitar was an Archtop guitar. It was a little Harmony. I got it for the holidays. And so to me, guitars always looked like that. You know, of course, I saw cowboy movies and they had them. And I'm so old that rock and roll hadn't really taken over with electric guitars yet. So this is how they looked. But I also remember, maybe those of you remember the concert for Bangladesh, some of the people who were old enough, as old as I am, there was a picture of Eric Clapton playing a Gibson Birdland and this beautiful Archtop F-hole guitar. And it was so sexy. And maybe that's where it happened. I was already playing the guitar by then. I had numerous guitars. I had, classical guitar and an acoustic guitar. Anyways, but since falling in love with these and the sound of them, and of course getting into jazz music, which is where they have found their home for the most part, I've become part of a big family, which a lot of you are. And we had an Archtop festival, the Rocky Mountain Archtop Festival back in Colorado. Peter Henriksen, whose amp I'm playing through right now, Henriksen Amps, who you've heard me talk about on the show, if you've ever seen the show, if this isn't your first time. And he's put a great festival on where we, those of us that played them, we represented some of the guys whose guitars were there, like this gentleman was there, Stefan Sontag. He came in from Germany and had his guitars there. And there were a lot of great makers there, and a lot of people, we played their guitars to demo them in clubs around the town of Arvada, California. Is it Arvada or Arvada? I'm sure somebody will be able to help me out there. And then we had concerts at night and big hangs and jam sessions. And it was just a lovely family. But I got to know all these great makers of these guitars. And to me, they're like Geppetto. They take wood and they craft something amazing And in fact, something just like Pinocchio, it's alive. And it also lets the world know when we're lying, when we play them. That's the hard part about it. But what's really great is just this wonderful community of brilliant people who love these instruments and then put them in our hands to actually bring life to them. And they take over our lives. They're like our children. So I'm going to get quick into this because I could wax on a lot, but I'm just going to. And so what I've done is I kind of turned the tables on them. I asked them to play their guitars, and I would play along with them. But of course, they're such eminently creative people that they all decided to do different kinds of things, every one of them different from the other. And it just goes to show you that this family of humans who are doing such amazing work. It's just like, it's not just musicians who are creative. There's so many creative humans involved in this process. And I think I'm just going to start with, it's hard to decide whether to start with how the order I got. I'm going to go with the order I received them, because that way I'm not playing favorites. The first person to respond to this was a gentleman named Bill Comins, who's a luthier out of Philadelphia and makes amazing guitars. He's also a really good guitar player here, as you'll hear. And he is also, like, he's well aware that, you know, the amount of time that goes into these things, they're very expensive. And us musicians oftentimes, and particularly a lot of younger musicians, can't afford these fine works of art. And I won't put words in his mouth, but I would assume he looked around at what was available to them at lower prices and felt that he could add to that roster of to that menu. And he has created really good guitars that he's designed that are made overseas that are very, very fairly priced, and they're excellent instruments. I played them at the NAMM show. And I'm just going to try and start this again. Boom.
Hey Bruce, thanks for including me in this, and I thought I'd play something uplifting for everybody. So this is
uplifting.
Proud.
Yeah, Bill. Woo! That's Bill Comins, Comins. Look up his guitars. Unfortunately, for you who are watching right now on YouTube, smart ones of you, you'll have to know right now that Facebook has once again decided that Bill played too fucking good to have it on live video, so they stopped it. So I have to recalibrate and do this while I'm talking to you. I'm glad my live video is ended and I'll start up again. Hopefully they won't do it to everybody. Bill is obviously a fine guitar player and fine guitar maker. I really suggest you check out his instruments. And he's a great member of the community. I just got to say that he was so welcoming to me when I was at the festival there, you know, just his generosity of spirit and everything about him. He's a class act. And so we need to support artisans like this for sure. Hey, everybody who's live, you missed the end of Bill Comins. You have to go to the YouTube feed to watch that. It's right here. Go to Bruce Foreman YouTube channel, and you'll hear the amazing guitar solo where he actually shoved the guitar off the iPad and up my ass, but Mark Zuckerberg was already there. It's another thing. Anyways, and if you're sensing some hostility here, I wonder why. Anyways, welcome back for those of you who found me and those who haven't. I'm glad you're at YouTube. You're smart enough to watch us there. We're in our, I like to call it Maker's Mark, but that's because of my history with the, you know. Anyways, this is If They Build It. If you build it, we will play it. So I just want to say how much I'm so grateful for all you creative spirits who are making these instruments. I'm just going to keep going because there's so many, and I'm worried that I'll run out of time because Grumps likes to talk a lot. Stefan Sontag. Now, the story of the red guitar, which you heard me do at the beginning, if you did, and this guitar did sort of take over my life. It was a very interesting little thing. I'm at an international guitar festival in Wales, and this guy, one of the luthiers there, and there was, you know, it was like a mini NAMM show. We played, we gave workshops, there were concerts, and there was like an exhibit hall with luthiers and recordings and publications and memorabilia and accessories. It was really great. I think it's still going. I'm not sure. I would have to find out, but it was in Wrexham, which is an unfortunate name. Wrexham. Anyways, I'm grateful for it because I met, the year I played it, Bobby Broom was there, Martin Taylor, John Pisano, Al Viola, Trevor Owen, TreforOwen, a Welsh guitar player, runs it. If it's still going, and he ran it if it's not. But this man, Stefan Sontag, was there. And there was this red guitar. I'm in the hallway. And, you know, jazz musicians, I hadn't even realized this yet. It was the moment that it hit me. I'm walking through the hall, and there's this really cool setup of all this stuff. And on this one pedestal, he's got this red guitar. And this guitar like had a force field around it. I mean, everybody avoided it. And I'm wondering, like, well, what's this about? And then I kind of looked at it closer and says, oh, it looks so rockabilly. And of course, jazz musicians have somehow gone from being renegade dudes to being kind of a upper crust club of elitist people, you know. Anyways, and it just pissed off my cowboy sensibilities that there was this beautiful girl there that no one was dancing with. So I grabbed the guitar, didn't grab it, I asked to play it, and you know, I started playing it, and it had so much sound, and the hall just went quiet, and I just played it for, like, I don't know, could have been a minute, could have been 20 minutes, and Eventually gave it back to him. I said, wow, this is a really nice instrument. And he goes, thanks. You know, he put it on the thing. And, you know, nice little experience. And then the next morning, I go walking into my workshop and he hands me the guitar. And he says, take it. I said, what? He says, you know, I mean, for the week, you know, play it, do it for your workshops, your shows, whatever you want to do. Just play it. You know, you seem to like it and nobody's playing it. Of course, he said this all with a German accent. And Stefan is quite a bit bigger than I am. And I'm, for those of you who can't tell, who don't know me, I'm about 6'3", a skinny 6'3", but 6'3" nonetheless. And he was like a lot bigger than me, you know. And so I'm kind of, okay, cool, you know. And so I played it and would just take it to jam sessions and played it, you know, at the workshops and stuff. And at the end, I went to him. I says, okay, how much? I just fell in love with it. And he says, oh, I won't sell it to you. And I'm like, well, no, how much? I can't sell it to you. I was like, well, you know, this thing. I'm like, I kept saying, okay, you're trying to push up the price. Just come on. You know, come on. It's me. He goes, no, I can't sell it to you. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He says, it belongs to somebody else. I'm just brought it here to show it off so people could play it. It's a demonstrator. Oh. So he said, but I'll make you one that's better. And so I said, okay. And we worked it out. And I remember him calling me. It was such a great experience. It was kind of like having a surrogate baby, you know, like you hear from the surrogate, oh, I'm 4 months pregnant, I'm 5 months pregnant, oh, I'm getting bigger. You want to hear some of the kicks against my belly? I mean, it's like that. And he even called me, and like the first time he put strings on it before it had a finish or anything, he just let me hear her first cry. And what a great guy he is. And then he called me to ask me what color. I said, oh, I want it red, just like the other one. And he couldn't believe it. He says, once I paint it, you can't unpaint it. You know. So, anyways, and that's the story of how I ended up. I didn't really tell him I wanted it red because it matched my eyes. But here's Stefan Sontag from Augsburg, Germany. Come on, I'm trying. It's so hard sometimes. One little thing about the iPad, if there's any people who work at, Apple, don't make it start the second you put on it. Give you an opportunity to start it when you fucking want, for God's sakes. Okay, so here is Stefan, and again, I told him I wanted something I could play along with. That's all I told these people. I really did. I didn't tell them what to do or how to do it. You know, Bill Comins just did a really great song, Cry, which I don't know if you guys have heard the Stan Freberg version of that where he's crying along with it. It's really quite insane. But Bill played the shit out of it. Anyways, here we've got Stefan doing something he thought that I would enjoy. And I'm going to hit the wrong thing. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Woo!
Ich brech die Herzen der stolzesten Frau, weil ich so stürmisch und so leidenschaftlich bin. Mir braucht nur eine ins Auge zu schauen, schon ist sie hin. Ich hab bei Frauen so schrecklich viel Glück. Das ist kein Wunder, denn mein Sternbild ist der Stier. Mein Blut ist Lava und das ist mein Trick. Das liegt mal an mir. Ich schau mich an und lächle schlau. Sie sind die richtige Frau. Komm ich in Blut, dann ist mir jede so gut. Ich brech die Herzen weil ich so stürmisch und so leidenschaftlich bin. Ihr braucht nur eine Sacke zu schauen, schon ist sie hin.
Wow. You see, I mean, all I said was give me something to play with, and that's what he did. Now, my German isn't very good, but I think he said something like, buy a guitar today. Buy a guitar. It won't be that much to pay. Buy a guitar. What else do I have to say? Buy a guitar. Maybe you'll get a lay, you know, or something like that. I don't know. If anybody knows German, you can tell me how close my translation was. Anyways, obviously a guy with not only a great, he makes great guitars, and they play great. And again, one of the reasons they do is because he plays the guitar, which is, of course, true. I mean, let's face it, it helps to be able to play these things if you're going to make them. I have found. Of course, I'm not allowed to make them because, you know, sharp instruments and power tools involved. And you know what that means. Anyways, so, Stefan Sontag. And anybody who wants any information on all the people that are going to be on this show, and I better get going here because I got a bunch of people that I called. And I do want to mention the people that I called that couldn't do it. And some of the people I didn't call because they're either dead or I don't know them. The people that I would have called but they're dead would have been Lloyd Lohr, Mr. D'Angelico himself, James D'Aquisto, those people. I didn't get through to Roger Boris. I didn't get through to John Monteleone, Bob Benedetto. These are people that I would love to have had them involved. Megan Wells, I reached out to. Victor Baker, I reached out to. And maybe we'll do a second show like this, because this is really a lot of fun, and it's hard as shit for me. And now you see why Pammy took the night off, or Gidge, I'm sorry, because the guitar thing. I mean, it's like she's had to share me with a guitar. I mean, of all you guitar players out there, raise your hand. How many of you have ever seen your significant other get up from either the bed or perhaps the sofa or something and have a pick implanted in their butt? You know, like one of those naked butt kind of things. You know what I mean? That. Imagine a butt with that in it. Come on. If you've been playing for a long time, that has happened. And you can see why a woman like my wife would not want to just be part of the potentiality of that being mentioned. My ex-wife used to call them guitar chips. She would find them everywhere. You couldn't do the laundry without them coming out of the dryer. You couldn't just be, anyways. So that's the kind of, so she really didn't want to have anything to do with the show. And I don't blame her. And being that this is episode 34 and she's only missed one other, I can't really say she's not being a supportive spousal product. God, there's so many great places to go from here, but I said I would go in order of receipt, didn't I? See? Grumps still is remembering stuff. Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Now, this is a gentleman I know. I'm going to try. See, the thing, and the other thing with the iPad, you see, if I hit it and get rid of the white borders, then I don't have the control to start it going. Right? A lot of good that does me. Thanks a lot. And then if I start it going, Grumps is in a bitchy mood today. Anyways, if I start it going and then I hit the thing to make it go black, I got about a 60% chance of that happening, and another 40% chance of it just stopping the video and I have to start over. Anyways, this is Tom Ribbecke, of course. Like I mentioned, how the community is so great. Tom has been just a charter member and an inspiration to everybody in the guitar playing and making community. That whole world of Healdsburg and the Guitar Makers Show and the guild up there, he's very instrumental in being a part of all of that. He's an inspiration to so many people. A lot of young builders have studied under his tutelage. And like another guy who's going to be on here, he's innovated new designs. I have one of his guitars called the Halfling guitar, which is a innovation on the Archtop that gives more of the acoustic flat top. It's actually literally an arched on one side and flat on the other, and it gets you a lot more bigger response, more like a flat top. Tom is a brilliant man and a great friend, and he's also been a tireless teacher to people, both as apprentices and his workshops and stuff. So I asked Tom to do something. Of course, again, a lot of these guys, you know, they have power tools. Some of them only have like 2.5 fingers, and can you imagine all the stress it puts on your hand working with this stuff all day long? I mean, it's not like it's made to be a guitar player and a guitar maker at the same time. For those people that do that, I think they got really good genes, because, you know. Anyways, Tom is a great player, and he wanted to share this with us. And I just said, like, give me something to play with. Do what you want.
Well, hi, I'm pleased to be invited to this crazy gathering of makers and players, you know, world-class players and players and makers of all sorts. And this is a 16-inch instrument I'm working on the voicing on, so that's kind of fun to do that too. No finish on it yet. And so here we go. I'm going to play something that I do. I'm really not a jazz guy, so I'm counting on the great maestro of all maestros here to make this.
Talking about me.
Of course, he does with everything he plays. So 1, 2, 3.
Wow, you see? Of all the things I'd expected, I didn't expect that. And he looks more, you got to admit, he looks more and more and more like a charter member of the Grateful Dead every day. And of course, so do I. Okay. Just without the money or the drugs, you know? Other than that, I'm 2/3 of the way there. No, 1/3. Okay. But who's counting? Me. Okay. So, it just keeps getting better. And I'm running. I can't believe this. Fun really flies while you're playing time. Okay. And I see that most people have left and they're going to be sorry, but they'll catch us on YouTube. Okay. So what am I going to do here? I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to find, oh, right. You see, and then when you hit the black, when you want to find the menu, you can't find, okay. You know, they just don't make, they need to make Grumps pads instead of iPads. And Steve Jobs, I know you're gone, but whoever's taken over might want to talk to me because, you know, I'm not quite like to Life Alert, but I'm between the iPad and that. And maybe there's a whole bunch of us that could really utilize that. Anyways, damn. Okay. Oh, right, this one. Okay, so there's a young man who is got it. He's like me because we got names that you either have to spell for people. You know, his because it's crazy and he just doesn't sound like what it is. And me because there's a letter that's like Foreman. Everybody wants to go Foreman. Well, there's a lot of people named that, and there is a job of a foreman, and that's what that word is. But I just don't got the E, you know. And so I have to always spell my name whenever I come in contact with anybody. Well, this guy's name is Dan Koentopp. Except for it's Koentopp. Now, of course, my guess is that's German too, but he'll probably straighten me out. It's Transylvanian or something. And again, here it started up, and I just want to get it to where I want to get it so it starts so you can hear everything he has to say. Okay. Well, we're just going to get it as close as we can. Here's a man, eminently creative. I called him. He didn't even have a guitar strung up. He's working on 4 new guitars. He's been going day and night. The guy looks like he's been ridden hard and put up wet. I love it. He's in the middle of a creative streak that is so just, for those of us that get that way, we love it, and it's so sexy and at the same time so disgustingly disheartening. Anyways, but to the world, you know, it's the Van Gogh thing. Oh God, isn't it great to be so possessed by something? And you create great things. You pay for it. Anyways, here's Dan.
Been on these guys for days, months. This was a much better way to spend the day. Try to channel my brother Sam on this one. Let's do it, Bruce.
I can't do shit till you start, Dan.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Who wouldn't want to buy a guitar from that guy? And my guess is those 4 guitars that we're all playing on and will have amazing prominence for the rest of the world history are probably for sale. Maybe some of them have been commissioned. But as he would say, like Stefan said, I'll make you one better. Okay, so that was Dan Koentopp, Koentopp. He also makes, the way I met him first was through my friend Bobby Broom, who plays his guitar. Or plays, no, it's Bobby's guitar. But it was made by Dan. So, and let's just bow our heads or give a word of thanks to people, artisans. I mean, this business that they're in has got to be weird. The next guy I'm going to bring on the show did a wonderful keynote speech at that Archtop festival I'm talking about. And he's a true innovator, unbelievable historian. He's the one who gave, like I said, the keynote speech and told the story of the Archtop guitar. It is on his website. It's a man named Ken Parker. He's also very famous for inventing the Parker fly guitar. He just hears it a different way. He sees it a different way, and he knows it can be done a different way. But he always said that, like, he made a great guitar, and he used to work on guitars in New York, and he was there with Jimmy D'Acquisto and Monteleone, you know, and these guys, and he was there, young man, apprenticing, doing the thing. Became friends with Kenny Burrell. Kenny Burrell needed some work done on his D'Angelico. He gave it to Ken, and he needed a guitar while he was playing at the Vanguard. So Ken gave him this Archtop that he'd made, and Kenny loved it, of course. I mean, after a few days, he wanted to buy it, just like Stefan did to me. That's how they get us, you know. It's like heroin in the schoolyard. The first one's free, they let you play it for a while, and then yeah, I mean, I'm painting these guys as wonderful, benevolent creatures, but maybe they're just drug dealers in disguise too. I'm willing to entertain that side of the picture. He said, yeah, and Kenny said, I'll buy this, man. I love this guitar. And I don't recall whether the price was $1,000 or $2,000, but considering there was probably 1,000 hours in that guitar, he was like going, ooh, this is not a good business to be in. And that man is Ken Parker, as I mentioned, and I'm very excited to have him on the show. Some of you may have seen, I have been lucky to be the babysitter of a guitar of his named Lucky. It's one of his early guitars. And I gotta move on quick. Okay, so this guitar Lucky is just a special instrument. He's completely, the neck is totally free floating. You can see it's just on a pedestal. It's floating in air. Probably the most alive Archtop guitar I've ever heard. And it has a pickup by Bob Palmieri, who makes it so that it really, you hear acoustic. I'll turn the amp on. These guys are flat out geniuses. Anyways, so Ken, I told him I wanted a video of something I could play with. And of course, here's this creative guy. He's thinking about it. And, you know, he doesn't want to pretend. Perhaps he doesn't want to play. Maybe he doesn't even have a guitar to play. So he decides.
Ken Parker here. And going to give you a little run around my shop, show you a little bit about what's happening here.
Now, that's all I got. I got that. And I thought to myself, this motherfucker, I begged him for something, and he gave it to me. And he's thinking, show that motherfucker, right? You know, but really what happened was he made it in 2 parts, and he sent me the next part after. But if he'd only done the first, I would have loved it. This is a tour of his shop, and I'm just going to play his guitar as a little soundtrack to the tour of his shop. And
First of all, we got to show you, this is where the fire exit is.
shit.
First of all, we got to show you, this is where the fire exit is in case we need to leave quickly. Okay. Here's the top. That's going to get some new braces in the next day or two. These are brace blanks that I got here. These are spruce. This is the top. Spruce. So here's some tools we're going to use to do that bracing and marking and cutting. We're bracing stuff. Bracing stuff. Over here, got a guitar that's getting a little touch up, a new finish. Here's a back, ready to get rough carved. This is a Italian chestnut, beautiful curly Italian chestnut. You can see killer this material. Let's see over here, machine shop, where all kinds of fun things happen. Tools and little guitar parts get made. Here's a lathe. Nice lathe. And a milling machine. And of course, lots of pretty little gizmos and tools to support these machines. All kinds of fun stuff. Toys for girls. Nice little setup. All
Yeah.
kinds of fun.
Boy, this is great. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ken, but I got to get back to Facebook. For some reason, some of you guitar makers it doesn't like. Maybe you guys haven't paid your money or something. Is that the case? What can I say? I've done my best. I'm going to have to go and start this goddamn thing again. We're getting towards the end, and we can't leave without leaving. So for those of you who want to know more about Ken Parker, just look Ken Parker Archtops, Ken Parker anything, and you will find out a lot about this mad genius. But not only is he that, he's maybe the nicest guy you'll ever know. And he's an incredible mentor, incredible genius, and visionary. And so it's like, and I'm just sort of waiting for Facebook to reboot. I'm not really vamping because what I'm saying to you is real important. Hi, folks. You missed the rest of Ken Parker's shop, and it's really inspiring. Like I say, go to Ken Parker Archtops to find more about this mad genius. This guitar, like I say, it's got no cutaway, but yet at the same time, because the neck is not built into the body, I can get way up high on the neck. It's truly I mean, it has that sound, but at the same time, it's totally capable of crazy jazz kind of harmony stuff. It's just an amazing instrument. And for next, this is even going to be more technical stuff. Now, Facebook, don't leave me. Give me 5 more minutes, please. I'll put another couple quarters in the meter after we're done, okay? I promise. I want to show you a picture of somebody. This is a woman. Is it too bright? Yeah, it is. Okay, let me fix that. Dang. Okay. You see? Imagine how good this show would really be if we had tech people and writers. Okay, that's Linda Manzer. That's even still too bright. Us white people, we have a tendency to have problems with these kinds of things. I'm going to bring it down a little lower. Linda is just a wonderful spirit. She's one of the, I'm going to hold it closer because it's hard for you to, you can't see that. Maybe you can. And if you can't, look up Linda Manzer, M-A-N-Z-E-R. Okay? I'm not even going to leave it up because it's what it is. And that's what you get when you get a 64-year-old tech guy. Anyways, Linda Manzer. And what we have here is I asked her to give me something to play with. Now, Linda's didn't feel like playing anything on one of her wonderful guitars, but beyond making great instruments, and she's quite a famous maker. I mean, Grumps doesn't like celebrity culture. I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, name dropping ain't Grumps' thing. But she makes guitars for Pat Metheny, okay? And I hear this guy Pat knows a thing or two about music. I don't know. I'll take everybody's word for it. This is what she sent me. And I'm going to play along with it using Ken Parker's guitar because I don't have one of Linda's. And thank you, Ken, for letting me borrow this guitar. Too bad it's not red, huh? Yes, Linda. You see, I expected her to pull out one of her Archtop guitars and play something on it for me. And little do we know that she makes this, soundtracks for, I saw this amazing Canadian landscape. It was quite beautiful. But note to self, when you play a guitar, find out where the last fret is. This one has a D. Ruby has a C. So, in the future, that's one of the things you want to do right before you play. Find out where the end and the beginning is. Just saying. Anyways, we've come to the end of a show here. I'm already over time, and I'm expecting the company to pay more. But we want to finish out. I want to thank you all for being here. Saturday, we got a big show coming up. It's called, the theme is Sounds Funny. And it's a bunch of musicians who are not just great musicians, but also funny-ass comedians. And they're going to be featured in both of their both of their talented roles. So, but right now we're going to finish up with some friends of mine because Gidge isn't here. And I have a friend who's, this has been on before, and he's probably the only guy that watches all the way to the end. So I'm going to put this up.
Hello from San Francisco, from Ken and Julie.
Yeah, Ken and Julie.
Don't try to cross him, he'll leave you with dismay. And don't try to pause him, he'll ruin your whole day. He's got more mental problems than a shrink could ever say. He's obfuscating, procrastinating, and constantly pontificating.
Easy for you to say.
Procrastinating, cream cheese grating, and forever
Cream cheese grating.
exasperating, aggravating, irritating, and infuriating. And such an asshole.
Get out of my driveway!
All right, folks, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and drink a Sanatini for Grumps. Going to say goodnight, Irene, and I'll practice for next time. Oh, now you won't end. Back when I wanted you to, you wouldn't.